everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tube. I don't know why there was a hair in my mouth. Ew. Welcome back to our every Rookie Season 5 episode review. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe out there in the world of today. On the Rookie world, it is super hot. And in the world of ours, it is, well, for me, it's super cold. If you live in LA or anything, yeah, you're probably still dying of heat out there. But anywho, this week on the Rookie, it's a heat wave. It's literally, I really do not, I feel like I mentioned this so many times on multiple different review platforms we do. I was in LA in September, so I felt their pain this episode. I felt their pain because literally I went apparently on the hottest week ever recorded for that time period. So I was dying. Like every day I went out, it was high 80s, 90s. And the one day we had a rolling blackout, it hit 100 at night. So yeah, it was pretty much hell on earth. It was. I feel their pain. Some characters had more pain to deal with, some didn't, and you know we're gonna get through that today. In the most, I think honestly, this felt more like not a filler episode per se. It felt like more of a character progression episode. More to line. This was mostly Selena and also Sans Bradford a bit. I'll mention Sans in a bit why. But overall, I really enjoyed this week's episode of The Rookie. I always love seeing this world, and I always love seeing these characters and getting to see them grow even fonder and more better than ever. Now 5 seasons in, 3 years into their world is it's enlightening to see. Like, you know, I know how much if you watch me on the Feds side, I praise that the Feds cast. They've only now had, I want to say, a little bit more than half their season in. Yeah, they passed the halfway mark a couple weeks ago. That their chemistry is so palpable, and that's only like 11 weeks in. And the Rookie is like, oh my god, they're a whole nother level. But anywho, with that being said, let's go through the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of The Rookie. So I heard a lot of things on Twitter, people hoping that, oh, they're gonna pick up where Tim and Lucy picked up, and nope, we just immediately go into a cold open. Selena and Nolan are pulling over a guy just for a speeding ticket violation, and then there's a garage band watching them, and like, you know what? We're gonna make a theme song, like you know, off the cuff, no, what was it? Improv song. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna give this praise. I'm very specific with my music choices. Like, it's not even the song could be a Grammy Award winning song. If the singer isn't for me, I wouldn't give a damn. I don't know what this band is. I don't know if they're like a real life band, or I really don't know how they got on the show. But honestly, I love the lead singer's vocals. I really did. And I felt like if The Rookie was created, like, let's say a decade ago, where well, to be honest with you, the way TV show openings have progressed in years is that you would rarely get anything more than even 15 seconds back then, and now they just shorten it to like, so it used to be back in the 80s and the 90s, you get like a traditional 1 minute long theme song, and then when I became more cognizant of TV, they were starting to shorten that down, especially on, like, you know, broadcast television, where they were aware of syndication, so they moved it from a minute to like maybe 30 seconds, and that was kind of like the beginning of, like, you know, just having the logo with a cool animation. And then, like, nowadays it literally is just the logo, and that's it. That's it. You know, maybe a quick catchy jingle, but that's about it for like 10 seconds. And I really do miss that time period. I feel like the only time of the shows I've reviewed week to week that's had like a proper intro was probably Heels. And even that was like, oh, that brought me back. That, like, you know, those glory days of like, we actually got an intro. I feel like the more primetime stuff like gets the longer treatment. But that's just my opinion on the matter. Anyway, very catchy song. Even Selena's like, you know, jigging along to it, which I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Honestly, this is the second week in a row where someone has clarified that Juarez was attractive. I'm trying to be very PG-13 here, but I feel like once this season's over and maybe we get into season 6, hypothetically, we haven't been renewed yet, but all eyes are focusing on, yes, we will probably get a season 6 renewal, which I'm very excited about. I would love to see Selena get like a love interest of some sort. But anywho, enough with that being said, let's go back to the actual world of the Heatwave, where Everything's hot. Everything's like dry as hell. There's blackouts all over the city. And here we have poor Tim, who's starting his brand new desk job as court liaison sergeant, which basically is a fancy term. Is you basically just hand out papers to cops that need to appear in court. But apparently, even like one day, Bradford has had a very high success rate of, you know, improvement of the position that was last filled. Because Bradford is bored out of his fucking mind. But guess what? He really likes Lucy. He really wants to give this a fair chance. So you gotta do what we gotta do for love. Even Gray's like, he feels for him. Like, I know the love. I know what love is, but still, this is really, really worth it. And Bradford's like, yep, I'm peachy as dandy. I really am. So yeah, so I believe what else happens before we get to it. I think it's just like, yeah, Lucy notices as well that Tim's a bit, you know, not depressed, but like, he's not happy. He really isn't. It sucks because, like, you know, sometimes you take a position switch just to be with the people you love, but there comes a limit. And yeah, Lucy is a good girlfriend for at least noticing that ahead of time and not just like trying to like let Tim ride the coattails for a little while longer. So we get to the I forgot. I remember so much of the bullpen. We get to the bullpen meeting. This is a good opportunity for Juarez to be tested to see if she knows what is the protocol when it's a major heat wave. She does not get that on the go. And Gray's like, you know what? I think it's time we have a proper assessment of your abilities so far. So I'm gonna ride with you today and see what you know and see if you still got the stuff to make it as an LAPD, as well as it's also meant to judge Nolan. Again, you know, Nolan, this being his first rookie, you know, and also, again, it's only been 3 months. Are we still in November, or are we going to retcon it to December? I really don't know. The timelines in the show is like fairly long. But anyway, even I heard like there's going to be a Valentine's Day episode, which I'm like, oh boy, that's going to be really fun because it's on Tuesday this year. I can't spoil anything about that, but anyway. Anywho, back to where I was saying before. So yeah, so they're switching up. So Nolan's with Aaron. Celine's paired up with Gray, and meanwhile, I think there's nothing going on the detective side just quite yet, so we're gonna put it on hold on that for now. So yeah, so I think we're gonna start with Lucy. She heads up to a call in a storage unit place. The owner's complaining about a smell, and with all the rolling blackout, maybe, you never know, maybe it could be spoiled meat. Maybe it could be a dead animal. Who the heck knows? So they open it up. They find a really big chest cube, which a chest freezer, which I'm like, you dummies. Why is it every time people have to kill someone, they put the bodies in a chest freezer? Like, can I really explain why? Like, I'm probably gonna get a chest freezer at some point in the future of my life, and you know, I would love it for someone just to assume I had a dead body there, but I don't, because that's an idiot move. Like, it's literally so typical, and we just had it on the Fed side too in last week's episode where like they stored a body in a chest. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the same prop. I would not be surprised whatsoever. And of course, there's a dead body in there. So Lucy calls over Harper to go check it out. They're running prints on him. Apparently he's a known thrifter, a known, like, you know, kind of scam artist. He's been mostly stealing from the elderly, which I'm like, yeah, that's pretty shitty. So maybe things got caught up with him finally, and they're looking around the unit. So this isn't his first case. This isn't his first, like, you know, he has a lot of valuable merchandise here. So they're going to go track down the owner, see if they can find anything about this guy that maybe they could point to the killer. Lucy asks Harper if there's any way to try and loop Tim in, and she's like, well, how? He's a court liaison. There's nothing to do with the courts yet in this case. And, you know, Lucy, and I'm pretty sure everyone actually knows they're dating. I mean, the way Harper is like, yeah, why would Tim take the position change? Like, you know, I'm pretty sure it happened off screen, which I know people just want to, like, they want to get it confirmed, or they want a reaction. I mean, do they really need a reaction? I mean, I get the point. I understand for the fandom that this is something they really want, but we didn't get one for when Harper chose between the two men that were interested in her. We didn't get one when Nolan was finally pairing up with Bailey, Lopez, and Wesley. We didn't get those reactions per se, so I'm like, do we really need one for Chenford? I don't personally think so. I think they just probably naturally found that off screen, and that's totally fine. And, you know, I know some people are going to be like, you know, very disappointed, but like, you know, hey, you got so many things in the last season alone. I mean, well, this season alone, like, you know, okay, you losing a reaction, okay, you know what, you take the loss there. And, you know, Harper's like, you know, there is a way that you could potentially move Tim around, but it requires a lot of coordination. You got to be at the exact time. Basically, it's like, they use a football analogy. I don't know football at all. But basically the term is like, you switch around to get the person you really want, to get into your position. So, I think the closest I can make of it is like, if there's a cap on the budget, or there's a cap on the salary and how much they can pay out for, you know, new players or returning players, they switch people around to make the money happen. So like, okay, we want to get this guy, but he wants, I'm trying to remember my limited ballers now, which was like so long ago. He wants 200 grand, for a season. And he's like, okay, we'll give you 200 grand, but their remaining estimate is 50 grand. Not 50 grand, 50, no, did I say it right? 50 million. Problem with that is that, yeah, so we're kind of capped out. So what do? We'll trade another player that maybe we really don't need, and we'll get the money there. So it's like, okay, his $150 million salary is now back on the player. We can give the 200. So it's sort of like that, where they're going to move around between the different units and get Tim into a position where he will be more happier, to say the least. Meanwhile, while Nolan and Aaron are processing back at the station, there's a blackout and they're losing power, but the backup generator doesn't go back online. So, Nolan, being a handyman as he always is, heads off downstairs to go check it out. They find two people in very, very poor police officer gear. Like, it literally is like the most strikingly worst disguise on the planet, and I'm usually oblivious and I don't have my glasses on. So immediately they disarm them, they take them down. Apparently they were there to try and bust one of their friends out, which I'm like, okay, it's not nighttime, bro. It's not like the whole freaking station's on blackout. There's still light coming in. They can still see. So they didn't play their game plan first. So they get arrested. They're about to get processed with the dynamic team of Lopez and Wesley. However, one of the guys is like, is there any way I can get off on this? And of course, obviously making a plea deal of like, what do you got? Maybe, you know, give us some information or something. And he's like, oh yeah, I got tons. Like, you know, I know this guy, I know this place. They're selling ghost guns, which are basically like scrubbed off guns. Like, there's no serial numbers on them. Which is like obviously a pretty big issue right now. So they're like, okay, perfect. Let's get your guy, and like this would be a pretty big win for the Metro team. Let that come into play later. So they call over the Metro team, which is like a really big pack unit, and they call them in, and it's like, oh my god, these are very brawling freaking dudes. Even Bradford's like watching this, like, I would love to be. Like, I'm sorry, but Bradford just became a, I get it, they're trying to pitch him as like the nice, simple boyfriend with his moments of just being Bradford, but like, there was just too many moments where like, he's like a daisy, and I'm just like, why? Dude, why? But anyway, so Lopez fills them in on the matter of the potential place. So they're agreeing to set up a sting operation to have Lopez go in, purchase a ghost gun, and then go in quickly with the arrest. And the way Metro is set up, which I understand, we just got Rookie Fit. I don't know why. I was thinking like maybe the Rookie Metro sounds like a pretty good idea. Of course, that means like Bradford would get shunt off to that spinoff, but like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, the way that things are right now with ABC and everything, it's like, you know, times of television are changing. I'm not trying to say let's get a Metro spinoff. I'm not trying to say we need more spinoffs in general. We already have enough. Like Rookie and Rookie Feds are perfectly enough. Then again, they do 10 o'clock showing, so we could probably have a 3-night Rookie. It doesn't matter. I would probably kill myself by that point. So let me stop there. But like the dynamic between the Metro team is like, it's unique, it's sound, but like I don't know why they were kind of like setting up a little bit too much. I'm like, okay, I see you, but like, you know, maybe it's nowhere. Maybe it's perfectly fine. It's just meant to be nowhere. Anywho, so picking that up is, I forgot where I was going to go with that. But anyway, so they filled them in. So they go off over there to get ready for the setup. Lopez goes in, immediately attempts to, like, you know, try and purchase a gun. However, one of the, like, the security guards or the other dudes notices her, and he's played. I keep saying that a lot, like he's played by someone I know from my past. He is played by Drew Powley, who played Butch on Gotham. Which I'm like, bro, you grow a mighty fine beard. I'll say that. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been 3-4 years since I last seen the actor. So I'm like, he's doing pretty well. He's doing pretty well. So Lopez's cover almost gets blown. She manages to, like, simmer down the situation before the Metro team steps in. She manages to purchase a gun, and immediately, like, they're already swooped in, and everything's done with that. So now I'm gonna call him Butch because they never give him a name. I'm just gonna call him Butch. So they bring in Butch, and Butch is like, okay, so I'm gonna get charged now. Okay, what can I do to, like, maybe lower my senses to get the hell out of here? And, like, we could do a plea deal, like, give us information and anything of the sort to get that figured out. So it's like, okay, great. I know a guy who. He's like the king of, like, I forgot what it was. I really did. But anyway, it's a pretty good deal. And they're like, this is again another big win. So I'm like, yeah, like let's agree to this. Let's take the deal there. Back over to I forgot. Yeah, I was skipping over something else. Was I skipping over something else? No, I think I got all my points covered a little bit. So they were kind of coordinating everything. So I think that was the end. Oh no, I forgot Gray and Selena's adventure, where it seems to be going well. Obviously, Nolan recommended to her, like, dial down on, like, the vision thing, the hokey pocus third dimension type of thing. Just focus on being a good cop, which she was trying to, but, like, they passed by these guys who are loading up a little bit too many power tools, which cost, like, almost $1,000 each. And with there being a blackout with no way to, like, process credit cards or debit card systems, I don't know if that was, like, the soundest move for them to do in broad daylight. So Gray uses it as a test to assess her ability, see if, like, she can probably make a reasonable assumption to at least approach the individuals, which is enough to do so. They approach them immediately. The buyer or the guy who was supposed to receive them immediately starts running away. Gray arrests them, and, like, yeah, it's a pretty simple case, and that's enough to earn Gray's respect to kind of give her to have an opportunity to run on point. To see that, yeah, why did you run up one of these, attempts to, like, let's get some sort of, like, unit going to, like, assess more of the blackout calls and stuff like that. So she originally is doing fine, but she's a little bit overwhelmed a little bit. Gray's about to chew her out, but Bradford, having nothing really much to do, decides to help her, organize that unit, which is a little bit better, but she's still focused on her mom, who is a little bit of a shut-in, doesn't really go out that much, and, and she's not picking up her phone, so. Thankfully, Bradford, having a little bit of a heart again, agrees that they should go do a wellness check, which they do. She's fine. She's just painting away. Nothing really wrong. And, again, it's more building out Selena's world a little bit, since she is, like, the new face on the team. So building out her world a little bit, seeing her mom finally. They have a sweet relationship, a traditional mom and daughter relationship, that, again, I'm pretty sure the mom was very scared when Selena decided to go to the police force. Not that she'll be able to probably just talk to her into, hey, it's just a desk job. Don't worry about it. I'm not seeing any action. So it's perfectly legit. Even then, Bradford is like, like still being the nice dude, like assisting to, like, put up a temporary generator first so that she can still have power whenever there is a blackout. So it's all good. It's all good here. So we head to the night. Nolan and Bailey are just ready to have a nice dinner in, not worry about anything, just have a nice couples night in. Then they get knocks on the door, apparently because Nolan has his fancy schmancy handyman abilities. He set up his own private generator, and none of the other crew manages to think like that. So they decide, you know what? Let's go to Nolan's house. Really, like, you should have at least called. I mean, texting is, like, it's literally avoidable. But anyway, so Harper and James show up with Lila. It's already baby banana. Even James is like, can I just make a sandwich? And he's like, yeah, sure. Nolan's too nice. Then Lopez and Wesley come in on barging it as well. Then you also had Chen come in because she needs help with the whole... Again, I'm pretty sure everyone knows it by this point that they're dating. I'm pretty sure, but I'm just saying, like, again, I know you all want to see a reaction. You won't. So they're trying to figure out how to get Bradford out of the situation, see if, like, what maneuvering they can do. They also find out that one of the potential people that could be moved to a much more cushier spot for better hours. So they have that connection, but it's like a jigsaw puzzle. It's like, where do we move who's retiring? How do we move this all around? They managed to get a pretty good fit going, but however, the only key to this plan is they have to get the first person to retire, which is a whole different ball game. And the only person who knows her that well, that certain officer, is none other than Smithy. Of course, I love Smithy so much. Bradford shows up at the exact moment, wanting to like watch the game and everything, which I'm like, I guess you and Lucy didn't have plans. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure Lucy probably just said I'm doing something else, so probably that was the reason why. Even seeing everyone together, which I'm like, yeah, it's a nice family. I get people were just assuming this was going to be a chill episode. I'm like, nah, but it's also nice to like get these moments of like just seeing majority of the people together. Obviously, well, yeah, Aaron and Selena are not there, but like they're still like, I don't want to say the newbies, but they're still like not that in tune. I almost muted my mic. I almost did. They're still attuning to things, so they're not really invited yet to everything. So. Someday they will. Someday, I have faith in that. Where do we go after that? I want to say I forgot where we go after that. I think we're the next day, and then other things I already mentioned pick up as well. Selena's back on duty with Gray because Gray gave her a little bit of a hard time yesterday, but he's ready to like give her a do-over, and he knows about her family situation, about everything they've been through. And honestly, again, this is why I echo back before, like, this is just character progression, just, strengthening these characters' relationships even more, is, he says, like, yeah, you have a whole new family here, so you never have to feel alone, which I'm like, I love that. I love that sentiment. I love when Gray has these, like, extended moments of wisdom and, heart. So I'm not sure if they're picking up the Metro storyline, so because we get Nolan, Aaron, Selena, and Gray to go respond to a call. But I'm not sure if it's a call or just Lopez's tip. I'm not really 100% certain. But yeah, so they're going to go out on that. Selena's kind of running point in that. So she's first tasked to assess the house, assess what the risk factors are, if this is still a good play to do right now at the moment. So she goes in, and the only downside is that even though there's only 2 dudes, is that there's a baby kid. Not a baby kid, but like just a kid in there. So that can create a problem. So Selena has to isolate her first while the others go in for the arrest. So they make a ploy, they make a move to get in there. It thankfully works. Briefly goes, sadly, well, not briefly, it goes awry when the kid decides to start screaming and crying, which is enough for the chemist and the main dude to notice. So they head in, a fight ensues. Eventually, the fight just escalates to the point where the actual drugs get released into the air. And since these are like very mixed drugs, not fully finished yet, they are very toxic. They're very, hazardous. But they managed to get everyone out, arrested, good to go. They forgot about the daughter. Like, they literally threw the daughter out. I'm like, there was no plan. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was an off-screen, unit there ready to take her. But I'm like, that girl could have easily ran away. You would have had a whole different problem sleep. But she gets locked inside the bathroom because she doesn't have a way out. Sadly, the chemicals do take her over for a bit. Nolan goes in to rescue her. They try to resuscitate her. And I got scared from him. And I'm like, were they about to kill off Selena? Because, again, series regular doesn't entirely guarantee survivability. If anyone remembers Captain, I forget it. It's from season 1, the captain from the first season. Which I forget. They never really got a new captain there. That's funny. They never really filled that role, or at least we never knew about that role. Then again, it's probably a higher up position, like IA Wes's father. Like, we just never see him again. So that was just the case right there. So they resuscitate her. They bring her back alive, and she's all good to go. She's a little shaken up, of course, because this was like a really near death experience for her. So she's a little traumatized, but she's ready to roll with the punches and get back to work. And even Gray's like, hey, with your commitmentship, so young into your career, this is calls for a medal. And Nolan's like, oh great, do I get a medal too? He's like, nah, you don't get shit. I still love their banter a lot. Lucy makes the deal with Smithy. And again, I'm like, Smithy's eating pasta. Even he knew about the whole place. Like, Jesus Christ, everyone knows about everything nowadays. And Smithy's like, yeah, I should, maybe get myself involved in here somehow. Get some money, more money for me. But even Lucy's like, well, the role we're trying to like fill in the first place is higher pay. And he's like, never mind. Well, it's higher pay, but also like it's way more work than where he's at right now. Which he's like, okay, fair. I'll stick to being where I am right now. So he agrees with Lucy having to do a favor for him down the road, or thankfully later on. So it's agreed. He manages to convince her to the person who was about to start this whole chain to retire. It works. So everyone gets moved around officially. The opening's there, and Tim immediately gets a call that, yes, he is officially joining Metro, which I'm like, that is going to be an interesting move. I don't know much about Metro. I know they're like war dogs. I guess that's the best way to put it, kind of, in my opinion. So I look forward to getting to know much more about them as we progress through Bradford's new storyline as we either next week or the week after that. So that will be interesting to see. Oh yeah, back to the dead guy. The guy, I forgot about the dead guy in the freezer. So Lopez runs point on that. No, not Lopez. Harper takes point on that. And she's interviewing the last known, person to do business with him. And she's like, like, he was such a nice guy. He helped me out with making my online account. He had all my passwords. And I'm like, oh, God. Oh, Lord. I'm like, again, I'm not blaming them. They don't know anything about technology or passwords. I'm like, oh, God. I feel so sorry for her. But, well, at first I felt sorry for her. But the more they did digging into this specific person, they're like, hey, your last job, 7 people died in your employment, in your employment establishment, and they were under your care. It's like, and she's like, oh, that must have just been a coincidence. It's like, okay, but then we just found out the guy in the freezer also died of the same thing of everyone else. And your assistant's also in the hospital for almost the exact same reason. And this is honestly the weirdest case, because, like, she's like, okay, I give up. I did it. I don't know why, but thank you for putting an end to me, which I'm like, that's the first for everything. I was actually really shocked about that. I think, yeah. So I think that's all said and done. I think I feel like there should have been more, but I feel like that was it. So Lucy gets called into her favor already by Smithy that basically ruins her date night, which is to basically clean Smithy's mobile home. Which I'm like, I don't even want to know. I don't want to know what's in that mobile home. They didn't show us. Lucy needs an entire decontamination suit for it, which I'm like, smart play. I definitely would agree. Like, you would definitely need that. And then, yeah, so we get back to Nolan's residence, and everyone's just, I feel Bailey's pain. Like, this is her new home, and all these people, like, as much as she cares about them, there's a limit. Like, I don't want to see these people every day. I mean, I feel so sorry for them. Like, Wesley and Harper just sitting around, like, just taking advantage of things. James is using up the laundry detergent, and and little baby Jack is like making a big mess over there. Oh my God, it's also hilarious. And Nolan's like, you know what? I heard the 4th season has power. I booked this reservation. She's like, bet. Which I'm like, Jesus, you have to book a night away from your old place. Like, you're basically letting them live there. And yeah, I think that was it. I think that was about it. Selena's recovering in the hospital. Aaron's burning up somewhere probably. And yeah, they're all enjoying AC. I was trying to make an anagram for whatever Lucy was doing, but I forgot. But that was it for this week's episode of The Rookie. I love this episode so much. It was really funny. It definitely was a little suspenseful. I definitely was a little bit kind of on the edge of my seat. Like, were they going to really kill off Selena? I don't think they were, but I wouldn't be one way or another about it. But it was great. Also getting to see her grow more in the police department slowly in terms of respect. It definitely is, a sign of, like, things to come for her. The Heatwave was like an interesting play to get everyone together more often, which was fun. It was really fun. Having this entire elaborate scheme to move Bradford all the way to Metro was ingenious. I really don't know how it got done the way it did, but it did, and now he's there. That's definitely going to open up a whole new web of possibilities for storylines for him, so I'm excited to see where that could go, really. And, yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, the whole dead guy in the freezer story was, like, kind of weird in the resolution. It really was. It wasn't explained the best, personally speaking, but it was fun. It was still a very interesting storyline, to say the least. But for me, I'm gonna give this episode 2 thumbs up as always. I loved it. More Rookie as I know and love. And yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think of this week's episode of The Rookie. Let's have a conversation down below, as always. But I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Tube from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 5th season of The Rookie. If you want to know what we're doing normally at What's the Tube, besides our Rookie episode reviews, we are currently doing Rookie Feds episode reviews that go up live tomorrow. We have Walker episode reviews coming out on Thursday nights, and Walker Independence episode reviews every Friday morning. Next week, we have a special one-offs review of sorts on a show called The 3 Pines. But go check that out later. But if you don't care about The Rookie, you're in luck. We'll be back next week with another brand episode review. A little bit late. I might have a personal thing that could constrict things a little bit. So it will be up later, and the Feds episode review will have to be up later than normal. I have to see. Nothing confirmed yet. So Stay tuned for more information about that. But again, this has been What's the Tune from ActionX. Please subscribe to us on youtube.com/ActionX videos. Ring the bell as always. Like, favorite, share as always, as well as follow us on social media. But until we see each other again, for all you members of the Rookie Nation out there, I'll see y'all next week. But until then, stay safe out there, be good to each other, and as always, peace out.